look at that sitar. Okay, now let's play guitar. Now play it lower on the bass. Okay, now slap the bass. Play that funky saxophone. Now bash it out on the piano. Now some classic violin. Now make some noise on the synth. I like to sing, I like to play. I wanna rock all day. Because music matters. Because music matters. Because music matters. Because music matters. I'm gonna shake the tambourine, then tinkle on the glockenspiel. It sounds kinda like a xylophone. I'll drum along on the banjo. I like to sing, I like to play. I wanna rock all day. Because music matters. Because music matters. Because music matters. Because music Now root a toot on the trumpet. Or you could play it on the flute. Or rock the beat like drummers do. Hold it! I forgot the kazoo! I like to sing, I like to play. I wanna rock all day. Because music matters. 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 Because music matters.
That's Music Matters. That's from an album called Walk Around Lisburn, which I featured in this programme quite often, and it's by John Darcy and pupils of the, what is it, Harmony Hills? What is it? Harmony Hills School, whatever one that is. And they were in with me on Friday last, and very good company they were too, and I enjoyed them very much. Good morning. A person with a query here. I think we should start this right away. Gerry, a woman asked me at work yesterday, says Viv, why does Sean Coyle not speak to Stephen Nolan during the handover when he's sitting in for you? I replied that I wasn't sure, but I thought they just didn't like each other. Perhaps you could expand. Let me expand on that. They don't like each other. And Studio Joe yesterday was very good. Have you any more Studio Joe today?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I have an all wee song for Studio Joe.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have.
That's great.
So we'll do it later on.
Something
Okay.
to look forward to.
Yes, all right.
And perhaps Eamon Maley could sing us a song. Well, he's already sung us a song. What could Eamon sing?
I don't know.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
no,
I'll think of something. A gentleman said, it was a nice surprise to get a shout-out on yesterday's show, said Michael McElroy. Michael McElroy is the man who was accused of telling Robert De Niro to take his hat off. Not everything in the story was exactly true, though. But I'm just saying, I'm reading this out. Oh. Not everything in the story was exactly true. There's somebody, I think his mother, rang and told you that he had gone to Robert De Niro at a function in New York and asked him to remove his hat.
No, not at a function, at a club called I told you the name.
All right, a club then.
All right. It was his granny phoned.
Yeah, okay.
What?
No, he's now replying.
But what did the granny get wrong?
Can you hear me? I'm just reading
being
it.
defensive here, yes.
I know you're defensive.
Sorry.
Try and be a little more liberal.
Oh, go on.
It was a nice surprise to get a shout-out in yesterday's show, he said.
Is this from Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm reading it directly from his email.
All right.
Can you not wait until I read it? And then you can talk about it rather than jumping in defensively? Not everything in the story was exactly true, though, but I leave that for the imagination.
Depends on what he was told.
I've not finished yet. Oh, one thing was definitely true, though. I wasn't cheeky. I was reared well, you see. Can you say hello to Rosemary Mulholland, who emailed me about it? And to my mum, Margaret, whom I miss dearly, who listens to you every day. Perhaps play some Bob Dylan? I will later on today. Let me know when you and Sean are in New York, and I'll show you the bar and tell you the whole story. It certainly doesn't look like a paint shop, by the way. P.S. The bar in question is actually called Milk and Honey, soon to be called Attaboy, as I'm taking it over. There's a man who owns a pub in New York.
Well, why don't we phone him?
Phone him. It's called Milk and Honey.
What time is it in New York?
It's... You may not appreciate it. It's...
What time?
6.
Go back. It's 7. Is it 7 hours?
No, it's 20 to 6.
That's all right. Well,
20 to 6 in the morning? I don't
I'll
think
tell you
so.
what we'll do. We'll wait for an hour.
Put that to the one side.
We'll wait for an hour.
Mhm.
I'll phone him at 20 minutes. That's a reasonable time for any New Yorker to get up.
Any white man to get up, yeah, of course. And
Okay.
also, we have a great attractive...
So what did he say?
He basically...
The
well, he didn't
inaccuracy?
say much about it. He said there were some inaccuracies, but I think the general gist of the story is true.
Well, listen, let me just remind you what his granny said.
Okay.
Granny said, young man working at a bar, first week or so in the job or whatever, only new to the job anyway, and as Robert De Niro comes in, the house law is no hats. Robert De Niro comes in wearing a hat, sits down. He's told to go and approach Robert De Niro and ask him would he kindly take off his hat, which he did do. And Robert De Niro
Which
says
he did do, take his hat off or approach it?
He did approach.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert De Niro says no. And then Robert De Niro asked him where was he from, and they got into chat, and I was found him a very nice man, went away, and Robert De Niro didn't leave a tip. So that's the story. Now, what can be wrong about that? What can be so
Well, maybe some of the details are
What?
askew. I don't know.
He didn't leave a tip?
No, we can talk to him. Any man who faces up to Robert De Niro and tells him to take off his hat, especially a man from the province, needs to be talked. It's like asking an orange man to take off his bowler hat.
Well, what about, who's the girl that emailed Michael?
This person seems to be...
Could they
Rosemary Mulholland emailed him about it,
Well, could she
but it's
do
his
this?
mother, Margaret McElroy, who told you the story, I think. Or
No,
maybe-
I think it was his granny.
will you stop? Actually, this whole thing was unearthed, and the interest in it was arisen by the apocryphal story, but people are telling me this is true, that Van Morrison did not take his hat off and was refused entry to the Ulster Museum to see the Leonardo da Vinci drawings.
Well, I was told yesterday that Van Morrison was spotted in the museum wearing his hat.
Well, you see, anybody with a bit of sense would have said to Van, listen, we have this rule about not wearing a hat whilst you're watching the Leonardo da Vinci drawings in the Ulster Museum, but seeing as you're Van Morrison, you go ahead and have a look at it, but don't tell anybody you're wearing your hat. He probably
you
did.
see-
It's all right as long as you don't tell him, hey, I'm not wearing a hat. All
Yeah,
right?
but they may have said to Van, we don't know if it's true or not, but they may have said to Van, can you take off your hat? And Van took off his hat and said, look, nothing inside, and walked in past the people, paid his money or whatever, walked in, and then halfway through his tour, put his hat back on again.
It's a precautionary measure against acts of terrorism.
Yes, well,
a
that's
man
all
could
right.
have a bomb inside his hat.
Yeah, that's all right then.
Not a great, sensible thing to do.
No, walk around with a bomb in your head.
Anyway, great interest in this program from the American subcontinent. Dear Bucket Bake and Dennis Healy, a gentleman writes from, where's he from? Don't know where, he's in America anyway. He said, greetings again from the dog's hind leg of the United States. Would that be Florida?
Sounds like it to me, doesn't it?
Mexico? It's either Florida or
Florida?
Mexico. The dog's hind leg. Is that not California, the Baja Peninsula and Mexico? Or would that be Florida?
I always thought, that Florida was the panhandle.
You know, the Panhandle is something that it's an area of
yeah.
a particular city.
Yeah, I always thought that was the panhandle of and that's was.
You get somewhere like San Francisco, they say going down the Panhandle.
Yeah.
That's an area of San Francisco. Anyway, you may remember me penning you a digital letter a couple of years ago and causing you to dig out the Housewife's Choice theme. Do you remember that? Remember those happy days? Remember when I had hair and you were normal? Regardless of whether you actually do or do not pretend that you do, it makes me feel a little better if you pretend to remember. Anyway, I would like to cut my annual expat wish for Anderson into two pieces to accomplish a couple of minor things. Minor thing one, what's the score with your podcast? There's a degree of laziness at play here, and I'm not sure if it's with A, the biggest gut in the country, who frequently dumps his whole show onto the podcast, minus poor Keith Burnside's excellent news reading skills. Did you know he used to live in the street behind my mother? No, I didn't know that. Or B, your good self struggles to produce 10 or 12 minutes of podcastable podcast. Is the fat boy too lazy to extract the best bits of his show and edit them down to a decent size? In saying this, though his silences probably take up about 20 minutes of the actual podcast? Or are you too lazy to produce a good 40-minute podcast, trimming all the music out, leaving your inane banter, missives from Tommy's cat, updates on Geordie's burnt arse, songs from Studio Joe, and the message about the lost dog in the short strand? Or does the current length of the podcast mean that there's only 10 good minutes of good stuff every day? But see, nobody knows if the stuff is good or not. 10 minutes is not enough, that's what she said. I do not pay my licence fee anymore for this sad state of affairs. There are people out there in foreign countries who live just to hear the podcast, because that's all they can hear. Minor thing too, I notice a lot of guests have been appearing and reappearing on your show with increasing frequency. Alan Hansen, when I was playing, when you were playing. Joe Mahan, watched him last night looking at a tree. Did you see him? Daniel O'Donnell, Roy Walker, and the Seamuses are all getting an overabundance of airtime, and it's got to be reined in. Gerry, at least until you've redressed the balance by bringing back one of your more popular guests, why does nobody do Jackie Fullerton anymore?
That's right.
Why don't they?
Because we never hear Jackie.
We don't hear him.
No.
He's taken a back seat. He's taken a back seat.
Where is Jack? Now, Pat contacts the show, and Pat says, I think the panhandle is Texas, where it sticks out like a handle.
Well, people have said that.
All right.
I don't really buy it. I would like to hear Jackie Fullerton taking his car in to get the catalytic converter checked by Francie, the friendly mechanic. So you bring the car down now, Jackie.
Yeah,
I've got a minute to wear that.
Well,
bring her down at 5 o'clock. No, I tell you what, if you have Wheeler in there, come on, big back. Jesus, right, you're in now. Give her the holly. No, right, slow the anchor, give her the bit, right, left, right, down a bit, you're in, that's it, now. What are you looking? Your catalytic converter? Is that it?
Well, there's a little knocking noise in the engine.
A little knocking, what's in the engine, is it? Well,
Yeah,
you come the wrong boys.
noise.
You need to go to Barney for the
I'm
engine.
quite worried about it, actually, if you could take a little look.
Well, you see, you don't. I know you haven't been on TV for a long time, but let me tell you how it works now. You see, I look after the bodywork, right? And Fonzie does the engines.
That's
and
fine with me.
Patsy's does the panel beating now.
Yes.
You see, you need to go to Fonzie now. You need to go to Fonzie. Oh, hold on, I'm Fonzie. Right. Oh, you're come the right boy there. Get the bonnet, flick the bonnet there. Flick the bonnet, will you, for Jesus' sake? Will you get up?
I think she's burning a little oil.
Do you like myself? Well. I was just noticed that myself. I was out in the tire the other day. I was got 40 ouncer and I tied one on.
There's a lot of blue stuff coming out the back.
Oh, the car's farting.
Well,
I just need to watch that. All that fix them. That's the diet. It's I'll tell you what it is. It's the red diesels doing it. Get the right stuff. Pay the tax. Don't be so miserable. You them boys in the BBC. You're all dodging tax. 148 years according to the paper. Hope that boy Anderson doesn't want him. I know Nolan is. They're all the same. Hugo, oh God, mountains of money. I don't know. Here, leave her with. Leave in the car here. Look and bring her back. Can you be back at 5?
I'll be back at 5. Can I ask you one final question just before I leave?
All right.
Am I an Indian?
Oh, dear. Oh, no, you're not. No. You're not. I'm sorry. No. You take that tomahawk with you there, look, and come back at 5. Anyway, I trust you'll take these requests in the spirit they're intended. Thank you for years and years and years and years of great radio. He could have done with just years, wouldn't he? I look forward to Jim fixing it for me to hear Minor Thing 2 occur in Wednesday's 45-minute podcast. Alan McVeigh, I don't know where he is.
Can I ask you this?
Yes.
No, please take this the right way. What does Keith Burnside do? I know Keith's our newsreader.
He reads the news.
But on the podcast, what? Really?
No, you see, what he's saying is that... No. What he's saying is with Nolan's podcast, what Nolan does... See, we take great care with the podcast. We trim them down.
Yeah.
Make sure all the good stuff is in it. You know, maybe 30 seconds out of an hour and a half. It's hard to find that.
Right. And
then we put it all together. I write links and I record them. But what Nolan does, he just fires on his whole program because he feels as if the whole program is worth listening to again, which is seldom the case. And he cuts out Keith Burnside.
Oh, he shouldn't do that.
He shouldn't do that.
No.
But that's the ego out of control. That's what it is. Gerry, could you please read out on your show today a very tame but talkative budgie has escaped from home at Towerway. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but a very tame but talkative budgie has escaped from home at Towerway, Antrim, on Tuesday. Any information as to its whereabouts would be very much appreciated by its owner. You don't think of a tame but talkative budgie. It would be like, hello, I'm a budgie. I was just wondering the other day, I was just watching you reading, what are you reading? James Joyce, Julius Caesar. Can you tell me, chapter 4, what is that about? You know, can imagine a budgie sitting talking to you, tame but talkative.
It must be an awful task to look for a budgie that has escaped.
It's a fruitless and
But
thankless.
What do you do? What do you do?
You just stand and look. You stand at your door and you look out the window.
Do you walk down the street and look at every chimney pot, every TV area?
That's what you do if you love that budgie, yes.
And do you call... What's that budgie called?
Joey.
Ach, it is not.
How many budgies called
No,
Joey?
it's not. But it's not.
It's called Joey.
But it's not.
It doesn't say here. There's no name. Contact Barry, but I think Barry's the owner. A tame but talkative blue budgie has escaped from his home at Tarraway, Antrim and Tuesday. No name is given. I don't think it's called Escape to Budgie somehow, but there's no name given. And people are urging me to vote for... Let me just check this out. I can't find the piece of paper.
Your man Anderson.
That's me. Thank you for your support so far. We are so hugely proud of our Jesus. We think he's been absolutely brilliant so far in Andrew Lloyd Webber's ITV1 Superstar programme. He was fantastic tonight, but... as someone is eliminated from the programme each evening, Jeff needs your votes after every show. Vote as much as you can and then tune in tomorrow night, tonight of course, 9 p.m, to see if he made it through the next round. He's doing well, this guy.
So I turned it on, I think it was Sunday night. Was it on Sunday night by any chance?
I don't know.
Whatever night it was on, over the weekend, anyway. And I thought, well, the sort of programme you would watch the last 5 minutes of.
The last 30 seconds, because that's all...
Just to see how he's going to pan out.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it ended on Sunday night.
No, it keeps going forever.
Well, when does it end?
It ends when it does the arena tour. It's coming to Belfast. Chris Moyles is Judas Iscariot. Tim Minkin is...
Well, when do we find out the winner?
I don't know.
That's
Probably sometime. But a person writes to me and is concerned about television and mentions this particular programme. And she says, now, on TV the other night, on Coronation Street, Peter was going to sail away to the Caribbean with his son. Are you aware of that storyline?
No.
He wanted Carla to go with him. I'm on top of this. Carla told her brother about it, that Peter had asked her to go away to the Caribbean on a cruise with her. Her brother told her, and he said, with quite a straight face, he said, if I were you, I wouldn't do it. I'd give him a wide berth. But they didn't realise he'd said that. And now to Superstar. Apparently, there are far too many puns and wordplay on Superstar, and maybe people would object to it. I'm not religious, but I did cringe somewhat at various utterances. Even my husband came out with, that's a bit blasphemous. Amanda Holden said, only the Lord can save us now, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. And then she said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our Jesuses. That's all the people who are applying to be Jesus. And then when one guy was told to go home, he said, now walk into the light. And Amanda Holden told the winner, go and join the other Jesuses. And after one guy sang, Don French said, you're very stern-looking when you sing, not at all like a saviour. You're not very Jesus-y. I just hope that whoever finally wins, he doesn't celebrate by stretching his arms out perpendicular to his body. That was a very quick record, wasn't it? I was going to play something there, but I'm not quite sure what it was.
What?
Hold on a second. I had an idea somewhere. Okay. Oh, there's the one I was going to play.
What?
But it's too late now. I have to play it.
Who is it?
It's all right.
Who's the artist?
It's all right.
Even
It's
just
okay.
start.
It's all right. It's okay.
Who is it?
I don't know. A gentleman says, back in 93, whilst fresh off the boat... This Ken's been in here again. Hold on a second. Everything is all wrong. Excuse me a second. It's saying welcome again.
Ugh,
It didn't say welcome for a long time. We have the CD player, and sometimes it plays the records, but other times it just says welcome. It doesn't play the... Welcome, yes. Welcome.
Press the centre button.
I'm pressing the centre button. Welcome. Thank you. Yes, I'm here. Good to be here. Thanks. Welcome. Oh, thank you. Welcome. Welcome, thank you.
Oh, a time there was, I was feeling so hopeless. It's a wonder I didn't cave in. I kept throwing love at all the wrong people. never to see it again. But oh Lord, won't you look what I found, staring me right in the face. I'm through being lonely, I'm through being sad, and I'm all through throwing good love after bad.
There's a singer called Verlon Thompson, a song called Throwing Good Love After Bad. The story of my life.
And when I think of all of the time that I've wasted wearing my heart on my sleeve, entrusting my love to the kindness of strangers, oh, I was so naive. But oh Lord, won't you look what I found, staring me right in the face. I'm through being lonely, I'm through being sad, and I'm all through throwing good love after bad. And I'm all through throwing good love after bad. Oh Lord, won't you look what I found, staring me right in the face. I'm through being lonely, I'm through being sad, and I'm all through throwing good love after bad.
That's Verlon Thompson. That's a very special request. Happy birthday request to Joanne Cork from her mammy, daddy and all the family. Please play something for her too, anything of your choice. Well, I think that was a good one to play. Lots of suggestions coming in for various songs, for various characters in this programme. Yeah, Joe's going to perform later?
Yes.
Studio Joe or Real Joe?
Studio Joe.
Eamon Malley should sing MacArthur Park. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't know if I can take it, because it took so long to bake it. But I'll never have the recipe again.
What have you got for Joe? Here, listen.
Oh, I'm enjoying
Before
myself
you go,
today.
listen.
I'm not going anywhere.
Listen, where is it?
Look, what?
Wait a minute.
This is a very special request.
No, but
Can you hear me talking here?
I thought you were talking to me. It's from
I'm
Liam.
not talking to you.
It's from Liam and Uri.
Yes.
And he says, bearing in mind his lack of respect for authority and his lifestyle.
Yes.
Here's the question.
Yes.
Was General Custer an Indian? Isn't that a good one?
No, he certainly wasn't, no.
Was it?
No, he wasn't, because I read a book called Custer's Last
He was a
Stand.
bit of a
Horrible,
dunderhead, wasn't he?
horrible person.
Yeah, wasn't he?
Horrible person,
Yes,
yeah. And an Ulster Scot to boot.
But it wasn't.
I've just bought
wasn't
Niamh
a great
McGlinchey's
leader.
CD. Stop! I've just bought Niamh McGlinchey's CD. I know you've been playing the first track, but play the third track. Why don't you let the rest of the world hear a gem of a song and a great singer. I agree. This is Niamh McGlinchey.
I've been sitting here so long for you to hear my song, and all you want to know, have I been on the radio? Who's the biggest star I've seen? What is my favorite scene? And if I get the job, will I sing on Mars? Yes, sir, I would sing on Mars. I'd play upon a star. I'd sing songs of the sun. And when my job was done, I would say I love you so. I'd like to play one more, just for all young lovers, for the road. Tell me, son, yes, just how far I need to go to be a star. I have had my highs and lows. I've worked in every show. I've played in every town. I've brought some houses down. The critics never noticed me. I am not a star, you see, but yet I give my heart to every part. I would stand for hours and hours. I'd walk through some showers with my dancing shoes and my dreams and views. I'd walk upon an empty stage with one line in my face, to be told don't phone us, but we'll phone you. Tell me, son, yes, just how far I need to go to be a star.
Niamh McGlinchey from her EP called Rainbow Days. Back after the news.
Every day the same old scene, the same old happenings, 100 miles of shows, and yet no place to go. And when your luck has all run out, you're asked to take a bow. You've just stole the show, and now you're on your own. Yes, sir, I would sing on Mars. My dream to sing is me the star. Is me a star. I am a star.
On 92 to 95 FM and 1341 medium wave. This is BBC Radio Ulster.
And with the BBC News at 11 o'clock, this is Anne-Marie Foster. Police in Mauritius have arrested the editor of the newspaper which published photos of Michaela Macarivi's dead body. Imran Hassani, who's in charge of the Mauritian Sunday Times, was detained this morning. Chris Page reports.
At the weekend, the Mauritian Sunday Times published a photo of Michaela Macarivi's corpse in its front page, and more pictures of the murder scene on an inside spread. Her family have said the hurt the newspaper caused cannot be undone. Police in Mauritius have been working to find out who leaked their pictures to the paper. This morning they arrested the editor of the Sunday Times, Imran Hassani. It's understood he could be charged with causing outrage to public and religious morality, a crime which carries a punishment of up to a year in jail.
There's been an increase in the unemployment rate here, with another 400 people signing on the dole last month. According to the survey measurement of unemployment, joblessness in Northern Ireland is now running at 6.9%. This was up slightly on the previous quarter, but remains below the UK average rate of 8.1%. A UN report accuses the East African state of Somalia of protecting the pirates who prey on merchant shipping. It says one pirate leader was issued with a diplomatic passport, and others also received high-level protection. A mystery donor has given £10 million to Cancer Research UK and another £10 million to the University of Southampton. Both sums will be devoted to medical work tackling cancer. A row has broken out in Vienna between the owners of cafes and their customers. Some people are angry at being charged for the glass of tap water that's usually served with a cup of coffee. The owners say it's a voluntary charge and the money goes to charities working in Africa. The customers claim that half the money ends up in the pockets of the owners. Sport now. Here's Grant Cameron.
Victoria Pendleton admits she sometimes feels trapped by her success as she targets more Olympic gold in London. Britain's track cyclist, tipped to retain her sprint title later this month, is featured in a BBC One documentary tonight at 9 o'clock. Luxembourg rider Frank Schleck has requested the analysis of his B sample, while insisting he doesn't know why he tested positive for a banned substance, resulting in his withdrawal from cycling's Tour de France. Bidding for his second major, Rory McIlroy says he's in good shape to add to his 2011 US Open title as he mounts his challenge for golf's Open Championship at Royal Lytham. And Ireland's cricketers hope to start their opening 2020 match against Bangladesh at Stormont at 5 o'clock.
And the weather forecast, here's Cecilia Daly.
Rather cool and cloudy today, though a few brief sunny interludes are likely, but generally quite cloudy with showers on and off. The showers are likely to become more frequent this afternoon, and some heavy too, with the risk of thunder. Temperatures will range from 15 at the north coast to around 17 or 18 Celsius elsewhere. This evening, rain will affect all areas for a time before slowly moving south overnight.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Traffic slow in East Belfast on the Upper Newtonards Road heading into town because of a lane closure just before the Knock Lights. In North Belfast, because of waterworks on the Cliftonville Road, there's a one-way system in place, so if you're travelling towards Old Park Road, diversions are via Cave Hill Road and Westland Road. That work will continue for the next couple of months, and metro services will also follow this diversion. And in Omagh, speed restrictions are in place on the Clannabogan Road from Drumlish Road. This may cause delays. Kerry Martin reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, should we be surprised that almost 2,500 people applied for 14 jobs at DFS in Derry? Are you struggling to find work? Are you getting any help? No picture, no description, so just how do we help police find a missing convicted teenage rapist who describes himself as a monster? And is it the death of the conversation? It's not good to talk anymore. We're all texting. And what does it mean for phone-in shows like Talkback? Get on the line. And from Jenny Oliver, Mary Portis, and now Thelma from Big Fat Gypsy Wedding giving traveller girls jobs. TV that tries to sort everyone out. Is it box office or boring? All that and Talk Back at 12.
Wouldn't have happened in my day.
Absolutely
not.
5 minutes past 11 o'clock, couple of messages here. A common mistake is made. Are you listening to this?
Yes.
A common mistake is made when talking about the Florida Panhandle. It is that it's not the long strip of land that extends into the Gulf. The Panhandle is the small strip of land at the northwestern part of the state of Florida that runs horizontal.
I'm trying to see where that is.
And someone has stumbled upon a universal truth that has eluded others. This person says, does Nolan know anything about what he's talking about? He's really, you've got it in one. I've been asked to play this record again. I played it the other day. It's a record you don't hear very often. Mark Cimino.
Night they put that chip in my head. I was drunk on port red wine. Down on the corner at the Cripple Crow, trying to dance upon a muddy dime. The fire wouldn't stop, and the clouds would drop, and the river, it would hardly flow. The night they put that chip in my head and took inventory on my soul. Yeah, degeneracy. Yeah, the night they put that chip in my head, my frequency was strong and loud. I was exercising my human right to be lost in a very dark cloud. I was smoking powdered wines, I was jacked to the nines when they strapped me down and through the floor. The night they put that chip in my head so they could follow me forevermore. I said, I am a simple man, as the rain on a yellow rose, watching the blood of a gut-shot lamb and the whole of Mexico. And I am a righteous man, I'm the smile on a dead man's head, guardian of the finest brand of southern degeneracy.
You put that chip in my head, I was a failure by my own designs. I was of little use, I like my kinds loose, so total freedom was my only crime. They said to drop the gun, we're here to save you, son, put an end to your normal routines. The night they put that chip in my head, it started canceling all my dreams.
I said, I am a simple man, I'm the rain on a yellow road, watching the blood of a gut-shot lamb and the whole of Mexico. I am a righteous man, I'm the smile on a dead man's chest, guardian of the finest brand of southern degeneracy. Watching the blood of a gunshot lamb and the whole of Mexico. And I am a righteous man, I'm a smile on a dead man's face, guardian of the finest brand of southern degeneracy.
Oh, feel that spring fever pouring through our open eyes. We were meant to be together. I brush your wrist and sparks fly. I met you in the town of Dawson, where the Klondike River flows. We had sunlight streaming through our bodies. We had restless hearts and restless souls. But oh babe, your last vicious. Oh babe, you're just my style. Oh babe, your last vicious. Come and sit with me a while. There was something fateful in our meeting, a fearful power in our eyes. The greatest things start growing before you even realize that, oh babe, your last vicious. Oh babe, you're just my style. Oh babe, your last vicious. Come and sit with me a while. Las Vegas, we blew it up with just a kiss. I declare our love last vicious. I let them wonder what they've missed. That oh babe, your last vicious. Oh babe, you're just my style. Oh babe, your last vicious. Come and sit with me a while. Oh babe, your
That's a band called Old Man Ludeke. I don't know if I pronounced that properly or not. It's Old Man Luedecka. It could be Old Man Ludek. My Hands Are on Fire and Other Love Songs. That's a song called Last Wishes. And I've been playing that for a while, and I discovered that there's an incredible autumn of great music coming up here in Belfast. Well, not here in Belfast, in Belfast. I'm not in Belfast today. I'm in Stroke City. Jim Heaney in the Real Music Club in the Errigal Inn is bringing... That band will be in there, and the Errigal Inn, on Thursday the 30th of September. And look at all the people who are coming. Justin Towns Earl will be there on the 6th of September. And just to show you that this programme doesn't just throw itself together, I'll be playing Justin Towns Earl is the son of Steve Earl, and I'm going to play a track now by a chap called what's his name, John Towns Van Zandt, who is the son of it's complicated. Also, Malcolm Holcomb will be there on Thursday the 22nd September, Steve Forbert on Thursday the 11th of October, Eric Taylor on Thursday the 18th of October. Fair play to the Real Music Club in the Errigal Inn for doing that. And hopefully we'll get some of those people in the studio to play for us, because these are the very best of people, very best of the American singer-songwriters. A gentleman writes to me, and he's obviously been reading James Joyce because he uses no punctuation. Hi, Gerry. Hope you're keeping well. Just a wee note. I'm off on my summer break and having a great time. The family and I toured around a bit of Northern Ireland, visited the North Coast, spent a few days in Enniskillen, staying at the Killyhampton Hotel, and we had our first visit to Bundoran. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but the colour of the sea is different there. It seemed to be more of a deeper navy blue colour, not green sea, whereas on the North Coast it's more of a lighter blue-green colour. Anyway, I had a wee blast in the hotel's hot tub, where I was joined by two older women. One of them was a woman from Holland, and the Dutch woman was wondering about the bank holiday being the 12th day. She was asked, could she go shopping, etc., and the other woman told her that some of the shops would be closed because of the parades in the town. The Dutch woman wasn't too happy about this. Then I spoke up and I told her, well, if one of your kings hadn't come here a lot of years ago, you'd have did all the shopping you wanted. She laughed. Thanks, Gerry. Could you get Sean to wish me a happy birthday? I'm 46 years old today and it's all starting to slip away. Will you wish happy birthday to Nigel Porter?
Nigel, happy birthday. Could you tell Mervyn, please, the name of the Sterling Hayden book, please?
There are two.
Yes. Well,
one is Voyager, and the other is...
Voyager. Is that the main one? Was that the one you read?
I read the two of them.
Which is a good one?
Voyager and... I can't remember the name of the other one. Google it up.
Google
it, yeah.
Google it up.
I can't remember.
There you are. Google it up. Google it up. I hear him.
What's he saying to me?
I don't know. What? Voyager and what? Google it up.
They're saying they can't hear you.
Well, that's nothing to... it's not my fault.
So it's not my fault either. He's shouting at me saying he can't hear you. I didn't turn your mic up full.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
It's usually they can't hear me.
There's a wee phone
when they can't hear me, he doesn't shout at you if they can't hear me.
There's a wee phone call.
Does he? Does he shout at you if he can't hear me? No, he doesn't bother his ears. Gerry,
so it's Voyager.
Voyager. And the other one is called... Oh, I can't remember.
Google it up.
Google it up. Please say
Sterling Hayden.
Please say the biggest... Will you let me know when you find out? Because normally you Google things and then you don't tell me. You make me guess. Please play the biggest birthday hello to Granny Teresa Green. Guess what age she is today?
Granny what? Give me her name.
Granny Green.
Granny Green. What age is Granny Green today? Granny Green, I would say, would be in her late 60s.
She's 100.
Oh, great.
From her grandson Glenn and all the Woods family tree. Get that? Woods family tree.
Mm-hmm.
Woods family tree. Granny Green.
There's a wee call for you.
Is that a wind-up, I wonder?
Probably.
Granny Teresa Green. Or the Woods family tree. Is that a wind-up?
I would think so. Read it again.
Sounds like. But it's probably not. It's probably just coincidence. Let's not be too cynical.
No.
I was listening last week when you played James Stewart Shenandoah, and the more I listened, I thought how much it sounded like Roy Walker. What about Roy Walker doing Shenandoah? Shenandoah.
We need to get the words of it. That's a good idea. We'll get the words. I love your daughter.
You just couldn't let it go, Martha.
Well, you just couldn't let it go, Martha.
That's what the girl said to the sailor.
Give me more of them.
Hello, good morning. Are these phones working at all? I wonder. Hello, good morning. Why is nobody speaking to me when you tell me they're on the...
There's nobody there.
You told me there was somebody on the phone.
But the man disappeared now.
Well, why didn't you tell me he disappeared?
Thomasina didn't tell me. He's gone, is he? When the man went... He did that yesterday too, as far as I know.
You better stop doing it.
Wanderer.
Pardon? Wanderer, yeah, that's it. Wanderer and Voyage. Voyager. Voyage or Voyager. Excellent two books. Sterling Hayden. He was he was in wonderful movies. He was in He was in that first Stanley Kubrick movie, The Killing. Remember when all the money was all over the airport when he tried to take the money in a case on the plane, and he killed Burt Lancaster. That was one of Stanley Kubrick's first movies, called The Killing. Great movie, old movie, but well worth seeing. And he was also in Doctor Strangelove.
It's all right for you to talk about old movies, isn't it? But it's not all right for me.
No, I only talk about old movies that are noteworthy. You just talk about old movies that you remember when you were wee. The gentleman has written to me and tells me about the bar in New York, a very famous bar called Milk and Honey, where the man told Robert De Niro to take his hat off.
Yeah.
These are the rules of the bar.
We will probably be talking to the owner of the bar at 11:30.
Okay.
So what have you got?
Well, here are the rules of the bar.
All right.
No name dropping, and there's a word that we don't use in radio also, but it means throwing yourself at well-known people. It's star something. Okay? Can you guess what that is?
No. Throwing yourself at well-known people.
No name dropping, no throwing yourself at well-known people. 2, no hooting, hollering, shouting, or other loud behaviour. That rules out 95% of the people who drink here. 3, no fighting, play fighting, no talking about fighting. Eh? Isn't that strange? 4, gentlemen will remove their hats. Hooks are provided. Not enough for Robert De Niro. 5, gentlemen, now here's a good rule. I think this is a great rule. 5, gentlemen will not introduce themselves to ladies. In other words, do not batter up to women. But, ladies, feel free to start any conversation or ask the bartender to introduce you if you're a bit shy. If a man who you don't know speaks to you, lift your chin slightly and ignore him. So you speak to me, look, and I'll do it.
No, wait a minute now. Is this... am I chatting you up now?
Yeah.
Hello.
What about you? No, what about you, love?
What did I say? I'm
What
chatting you up.
about you, love?
What about you, love?
Or you say, have you got 10p? Phone your mom and tell you you're not coming home tonight. And I'll lift I lift my chin slightly and ignore you. Look at me doing that.
Well, what's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this? Hello?
See what I did there? I lifted my chin slightly and ignored you.
But to see that you can't introduce yourself to girls.
I think that's a great idea.
Does that mean you can't say, hello, I'm Gerry Anderson?
No.
That's
Unless they ask. No. See, most
what does
women...
that mean?
I'll tell you what it means.
You can't chat them up?
No.
Well,
see,
what does it mean?
No, listen. Listen to me.
I get excited.
I know you get excited. Most women go to a bar looking for men, right?
Do they?
Yes, they do.
And
men go to bars.
Are you talking about women all over or just American? This is in America.
All over.
Are you talking about girls in Belfast and girls here and girls in Enniskillen?
Yeah.
So two girls out to the bar.
Yeah.
On their own.
Yeah.
They're looking for men.
Yeah. Behind it all, they are looking for men. Behind it all, they might say they're going out for a drink, but they're watching men coming in and stuff.
Are they?
Yeah, they're
well,
watching.
what about? Can I ask you this? What about married girls that go out?
Exactly the same. 50 Shades of Grey.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
Will I do that joke again? I was going to read it last weekend, but I was tied up.
Okay.
Anyway, no, everybody's the same. Human nature is like this. And see, the people will ring and say, we're not like that, we're not like that. They're all like that. Men are like that too. Men think of women something on the average of 200 times a day. It's been proven by Carl Jung and the other fellow.
200 times a day?
Roughly 200 times a day men think of women, yeah. Think of sex, basically.
I know what you're saying. I know
200 times a day. And women slightly less, but 100 times a day. That's what they do. They can't help it. It's just one of those things. Just a fleeting thoughts, that kind of thing. When they say, "Oh, look at her, she's lovely," you know, that kind of thing. That's what they do.
So girls.
Every girl that goes into a pub is looking at men, and every man that goes into a pub is looking at women. No matter what he's saying, no matter who he's with, no matter what he says he's doing. I've just done for me lunch. They're looking at the people in and out because they like it. They like being in a position where they can look at people when they're allowed to. But the thing you must not do, and I've learned this. You see, I've learned to see, once you reach a certain age, you have never reached it. Right. When you reach a certain age, see, if you're like 24 or 25, I'd say 30 tops, you have an idea that, you know, it's probably a good idea to go up and speak to someone because you think that they will probably fancy you. You know this from experience. Because if you think you've got a certain degree of physical attraction, you think they will not be upset if you introduce yourself to them. But once you pass 30...
I've never, ever.
I know you haven't. That's why I'm telling you. See, after the age of 30, you see, you still feel as if you're the same person, but to a girl who's 20, You're an old fella, right? Now, if you're standing there and you're 40, no matter how well preserved you are, no matter how handsome you are, or no matter how handsome you think you are, and you look at a girl and she's 21, she's standing at the bar and she's lovely, and you think she's really nice, she will automatically, 9 times out of 10, regard you as a pest if you come over and talk to her, because you're 40.
Yes, right.
But
right.
one out of, maybe 2 out of 10 will look at you and say, dear, he's lovely. He's a wee bit old, but he's all right. You see?
But how do you know she's saying that?
You don't know.
Well, how are you supposed to know?
Because she will come over and talk to you.
She comes over to you?
No. She'll come over if she likes you. Now, first of all, you'll have to look at her.
Now, wait a minute. Am I standing with...
No, it's not you, because she won't be looking at you.
What, could we just pretend it's me?
All right,
Right, I'm standing talking to Paddy.
Paddy who?
Paddy McKellen. Paddy
Patsy,
George.
Patsy, are you talking to Patsy?
I'm talking to Patsy.
You're talking to Patsy?
Right.
Talking about cars, are you?
Right.
Talking about cars.
And I'm talking about... I'm telling Paddy.
But what you must do, you must notice this 21, 22-year-old girl standing at the bar with her friend, right?
And do you make eye contact?
Oh, absolutely, you have to. You see, she's looking at you. And you see her looking at you, and you do not acknowledge it.
Am I ignoring her now?
No, you just you meet
so
her,
I
right?
look at her, and
you don't look at her. You just look at her for a second, and you realise that she's looking at you, and then you continue to talk to Patsy. You say, Patsy's a little chair outside there. It's not going great. Maybe you'll have a look at her sometime.
Right.
That kind of talk.
And what happens next?
What happens next is that maybe perhaps that girl will maybe find her way to the loo, right? And she knows...
You always have them go to the toilet.
That's
you spoil everything.
No, but or else going out for a smoke.
Right.
Now, one of the reasons they will find a way, possibly, of approaching you within hailing distance, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, you must not talk to her as she goes by, but you all you do is say, hello.
What, so you talk to her?
No, that's not talking. What talking is get up and say, what about you, love? Do you want a wee drink? Where are you from? You from Shanker? Where are you from? Falls?
That's right.
Did you get a bus home or a taxi? No, what you do is
is she smoking or going to...
She might be smoking. She might be going to the toilet. But all you have to do is say, "Oh, hello."
Oh, hello.
That's it, and she'll go.
And
hello.
do you stand back and
no.
let her pass by?
Yeah, let her pass, and that's it. She knows then.
She knows what?
She knows then that it's on.
The chase is on.
The chase is on.
Right. So she's now. So what happens now? Right, let's say she's had a fag. What happens next?
She comes in after the fag.
And what?
And you might find a reason to walk past her.
Where am I going? I don't smoke.
I'm sorry, but you might say to her, "That's a lovely dress you're
wearing." Get a grip.
That's what I do.
You wouldn't say it to a gear. It's a lovely.
That's what I do. I couldn't help but wondering.
That's a lovely dress. You get that in Marks and Spencer? What do you say?
Yeah, you'd say that. See, a man would laugh at you for saying that, but women say, "Oh, he noticed my dress. You knew I got it in Marks and Spencer's." That's because I'm a metrosexual. You're a golfer.
And then are you in the company then?
Steven Spielberg wore his hat all the way through the Bruce Springsteen concert at the RDS last night. That had been Van Morrison.
Joe's on one.
Does he? Joe. Good morning, Joe.
This is Joe here.
How are you, Joe? Are you okay?
I'm okay, Gerry. I just want you to thank the DRD road service for me.
For what?
The main Armagh to Newry Road.
Excuse me, what was that?
The main Armagh to Newry Road.
Yes.
There's been road works on this last 2 months.
Yes.
Now they've given us a beautiful climbing lane.
Yes.
It's an extra lane, so it's up a hill, so that lorries use the climbing lane and people can pull out and pass them and go on ahead about your business.
Yes.
Now, I would say millions have been spent on that lane.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead on, 100%. But there's only one thing.
What?
They put a no overtaking sign on
it. Well, what would you need to do to overtake on it? Did you climb over the vehicle in front of you, do you?
You cannot overtake on it.
Okay, so they tell you not to.
There's about 2 mile or 2.5 mile of a climbing lane with a 4 or 5 no overtaking sign.
I want to ask you something as well.
Yeah.
Do you know the way sometimes you get... See, we have a horrendous road between Derry and Belfast, right? So it's horrendous, and it's a disgrace to every civilised culture. And if there's a tractor in front of you, that's the speed you will go at for the whole way. But every once in a while, they've got a little kind of a little, not a climbing lane, but a little passing lane. And there's a wee thing that you can go into the left. to allow cars to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever goes in there.
No.
Why is that? Why does nobody ever go in there?
Because they have to stop.
No,
Have to pull in and stop.
fella sitting in his tractor doing 10 miles an hour, and a sign says, please pull in and let other vehicles pass. He doesn't do it.
Can't read.
Can't read. Maybe possibly that's it. They're going to update the road anyway. They're going to have one lane on it.
Good.
For tractors only, and everybody else has to thumb.
As long as they don't put an overtaking sign on it, then you'll be okay.
No, but the trains are even better. It takes you 3 hours to get from Gerry to Belfast, and the train's the wrong size for the track. We're served well up here.
Right, we don't have any trains there.
No, but I can see what your problem is. Where are you from yourself? Armagh.
Yeah.
So it's a source of constant annoyance to you.
At the moment, yeah.
Well, it's good to get these kind of things off your chest.
It means if you have a tractor and trailer in that climbing lane, legally you are not allowed to overtake for about 2.5, 3 miles.
But you can't anyway.
But you could.
Oh, you could if you wanted to.
A beautiful overtaking lane, yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you couldn't overtake, but you can overtake, but you're not allowed to.
It's a brand lane.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's the same thing. Yeah, of course. I thought you were being a wee bit fussy there. Oh,
no.
It's possible to overtake, but you're not allowed to.
Correct.
Well, that makes perfect sense. You can't have people overtaking tractors. That'll slow down. That'll quicken up the whole rate of the transport, and people might bring jobs and everything. Can't have that. I like it when you're stuck behind the slurry things.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Not alone going at 20 miles an hour, but you have to use a nose gag.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, Gerry.
God bless you.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what do you want? What do you want the farmers to do? To go out and drive in the middle of the night?
No.
Is that for farmers?
No. What I want them to do,
what?
especially the ones with the slurry things, just move in just a little bit.
But most of the roads don't allow that. Don't you know?
No, it's not that they don't allow it. There's many of things you don't allow. We're not talking about the law here. There's many of things I do that I'm not allowed to do, but I do it all the time because it's human.
Right, you're a slurry tank driver.
Yes.
Right, and you're out on the road. Are you to constantly look behind you to see if there's a car behind you, and if a car pulls up behind you, you've got to try and get into the verge and let him pass?
What I think they should do is once they see 4 or 5 or 6 cars behind them,
well, I'm sure
they should try and make a wee effort to let them pass. They don't.
I think they do. I think you see, you're a bad overtaker.
If you two think you're Indians, could you please play Running Bear, Little White Dove? Who'd be good singing that? Running Bear, Little White Dove. On the banks of the river. Read this out, if you can, please, Gerry. Do you know where I am down in Donegal in a wee cottage down from Leo's Bar? Oh, I know where that is. That's the, what do you call that group? Remember the things?
Girls?
No, the Crossfire. What do you call them? Corrigans, not the Corrigans. What do you call them?
Chorus.
No, the other one, Donegal ones. Clannad. That's lovely looking over the hills. Could stay here rightly, and you're stuck there all closed in.
There's a wee call on one.
Hello to Alan McVeigh. Hope he's keeping well. Best wishes to him over there in Florida. You see, the people are listening in America. Sorry, it was Mick or somebody told Elvis to say Big Mick said it's okay if he couldn't get in. What does that mean?
That's your story.
What story is that?
Your story. Your story about Elvis.
I didn't tell any story about Elvis.
You told that story yonks ago.
No, I've refused to tell a story about Elvis.
And there's a photograph. There's a photograph of a local band or a Northern Ireland band, whatever.
Oh, yes.
Somewhere. And then they said, if you can't get in, Elvis, ask for me.
That's Geordie Mullen, the late Geordie Mullen, who was a trumpet player in a band called The Witnesses.
Yeah.
Who were playing in the Bahamas when Elvis Presley was staying in this hotel with his wife, Priscilla. When he was married in like 1968 or something like that. Yeah. Poor Geordie's now gone. But that band were from Belfast and they were playing in the same hotel. And this is a true story. I'll tell it again because some people haven't heard it. And they were playing in the same hotel. And apparently Elvis couldn't really go out of his room, of course. You know, not because he was in his honeymoon, you know the way what we'd be like. But he couldn't get out of his room, obviously, because he'd be mobbed. So he spent most of the time in his room. And apparently they were rehearsing in the ballroom downstairs, and he heard this, and he went down, whatever way he went down, he poked his head in the door, and he said, "Hi, guys," and they went down, "Cheers, boys, hello, Elvis, how you doing?" And he said, "Who are you?" And they said, we're the Witnesses from Belfast, we're playing here tonight." "Oh, you sound good." He said, "Great." And he said, I must come down and hear you sometime. And Geordie Mullen turned around and said to him, please do, but it's very packed. When you come to the door, ask for Geordie Mullen. It's like that.
That's a great
story. But he meant it genuinely.
Aye,
He said, ask for me if you can't get in.
There's a wee
Imagine,
coffee.
no, can this be a Geordie Mullen, please?
Yeah, was a Geordie Mullen.
He said, it'll be okay if I get in here.
Yeah.
I'm Elvis. Mr. Coyle surprises me with his good taste in comedy. Do you hear this? I've been watching 2012 from the start, says Jonathan. It's brilliant.
Yes.
But it's only funny if you've been forced to attend management meetings on a regular basis. See, we appreciate it because we work for the BBC.
Yes, and
we hear these people.
Yes.
It's a documentary, for example. It's a documentary, he said. It's not a comedy. For example, I used to have a mad boss who was a meeting junkie. He'd arrange meetings to arrange future meetings, and I would come into work every day to find a blizzard of yellow sticky notes all over my desk on computer with instructions for my day. But the best one was the time he got us all to come in early one morning for an urgent meeting. So we were all sat round the table expecting to get our P45s or whatever and bad news, and he'd be just an old tea bag and wanted to know who had left it in the sink the previous Friday. That was the purpose of the meeting. It became known as the teabag meeting. The company is no longer in business for some reason which I cannot fathom. Just goes to show you, even the 2012 writers couldn't have come up with a G4 security fiasco. Well, they did. The writers of 2012 did come up with some of the things that are happening. And this was recorded long before these things are happening. What about the one last night? I didn't see it. You were saying they were talking about all the unsold tickets for the women's football?
Yeah.
I mean, you know. And the fella driving around for hours.
The bus before.
So it all happened within the last 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Fact or fiction or what? Or as they say in meeting speak, maintain the present state of ignition until the suitable time slot is scheduled for our collective exit. And also, continue on!
Where does all this... Has this all come from America? No, the meetings and all this meeting talk and the guys talking, and they ask you your opinion, but they don't want to hear it.
No, I think it's
You're
the BBC.
afraid to give your opinion.
Well, you see, you don't want to give your opinion because you stick your head above the parapet.
Yes.
See, in big companies, nobody knows who you are, so you'll stay there all your life as long as nobody knows who you are. See, it works in the BBC. So many guys walking about, you don't know who they are, but once you find out who they are, you find that they don't do anything, and then they get sacked. That's what happens. It's about talking and saying nothing. Gerry, any word about Geordie Tuft? What's the word in Geordie?
I don't know, I'm sure.
You see, you don't care about people who are burnt arsed.
Hark at the kettle. Hark at the kettle in there. I don't care.
The singer Bob Babbitt died yesterday. Do you know a singer called Bob Babbitt? Was he the same guy who sang Every Which Way But Loose? Would you Google that for me?
Rabbit?
Bob Babbitt.
There's a rabbit, is there? A singer? No. Anyway, there's a call for you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
You're a great man at giving advice about women.
Only when I'm asked.
Hello?
Only when I'm asked.
Right. Now, I have a problem. I live in a wee village in County Fermanagh.
Yes.
And there's a woman works in a shop on it, and I'm mad to ask her out, but I haven't got the yourself to ask her out. I'm well shy.
Okay.
How do I do it?
Okay. I need to ask you certain things.
You go ahead. I
need to ask you about her, firstly.
Oh, she's lovely.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Now, secondly, I must ask you, lovely in what way?
A nice personality, good looking, she's nice and small, and she'll be easily kept.
Easily kept. What age of a woman is she?
I think she's about 40.
That's a good age. Has this woman, been married before?
She has, the same as myself.
So, in other words, nothing is new to her.
Well, I don't know.
All right, then. So, what age are you? What age are you?
I'll be 48.
That's about right, that. Enough time span for experience.
Which is a lovely year.
Mm-hmm. And would you have a couple of beasts and a farm?
Oh, Jesus, no. My father had plenty of money, but...
You got plenty of money?
Well, he would have I.
Do you have... I'll have to ask you some questions about your physical appearance. How's your personal hygiene?
Oh, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely brilliant, actually.
Good. Do you have a full head of hair?
Absolutely. And my own teeth, bar two. I've no license, but...
Just the 2 choppers missing, then. I see no reason why you just can't stride right up to this woman and say, come to the pictures with me tonight.
But she's no picture house and where I come from.
Where you come from?
I've no license either. She does. She drives now.
Pardon?
She drives.
She drives?
I don't.
Oh, no, be very careful with that, because she might think you're after her for their car.
Oh, she's a wee small car. I have a bicycle.
Well, have you made any approaches to her of any kind?
I do. I was in the shop about 3 times a day already, and it's only 11:30.
I see. I think you've very little to learn, to be honest. I think maybe perhaps you don't need this advice. I think perhaps you're just looking for encouragement. I encourage you.
Jesus, you might be right there, you know.
Encouragement is what you need. Go straight up to her and say, let's pretend her name is Molly. Okay,
right.
Molly, I've been coming into the shop for a long time, and I think the time has come for me to tell you how I feel about you. But I can't tell you in the shop. I would like you to come with me perhaps some evening for a cup of coffee, and I want to tell you how I feel about you. Do that.
Right.
Because she'll be bowled over. And then when you're having after the cup of coffee, get a couple of wee vodkas.
Aye. No, I like an old pint of heart. Maybe.
All right, then. I want you to do this, and I want you to come back and tell me how you get on, okay?
You're a gentleman. Thank
you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. I think I handled that well.
I don't know. What you suggested he takes her out for a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
And they're in a cafe?
Mm-hmm.
And then they leave the cafe, go to the pub?
Yeah. No, not the pub. No.
Well,
no, it's very difficult for a man at his age.
Vodka in a cafe?
No. It's very difficult for... No. I can't explain this to you. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I can't explain it to you.
I don't know how you get vodka in a cafe. That's all. I mean, is that such... You know... Can you explain it? No?
I'll explain it to you.
What?
The woman works in a cafe, right?
She works in a cafe. And they don't sell alcohol.
They don't sell alcohol.
Right.
Right. I want him to go into her and tell her that he wants to talk to her. But he can't talk to her in her place of work, and he wants to have a cup of coffee, because if he asks her out for a drink, she might think he's, It's very difficult, you have to be, you don't realise this, but women are very suspicious when men ask them out for a drink, because it's always better to ask them out for coffee first. And if you're sitting having a chat, and they sense that they like you, you say, God, no, I'd love a wee drink. Do you fancy going for a wee, that's what you do.
Is this another day?
This is another day. No, this is on the same date. You can have coffee and a drink at the same time. But you must not say to people that you want to go out and have a drink with you, because they think they might be buttering you up. Out for a cup of coffee, talk for a wee while, and you say, God, that's great. Let's go for it. Do you want to go for a wee drink? That's okay. And you're away in a hack. Every man for himself. You don't understand any of this.
No. I said, do you fancy a wee fish?
A fish? I don't think so.
No, do you fancy a wee fish?
Unless you've got a trout in your pocket. Many requests for this. Ask me how many.
Right.
A whole lot.
Well, he was a wino, tried and true. He'd done about everything there is to do. He worked on freighters and he worked in bars. He worked on farms and he worked on cars. It was that white port that put that look in his eye that grown men get when they need to cry. He sat down on the curb to rest, and his head just fell down on his chest. He says every single day it gets just a little bit harder to handle yet. Then he lost the thread and his mind got cluttered, and the words just rolled off down the gutter. Well, he was an elevator man in a cheap hotel in exchange for the rent on a one-room cell. And he's old, years beyond his time, no thanks to the world and the white port wine. So he said, son, he always called me son, he said, life for you has just begun. And then he told me a story that I'd heard before, how he fell in love with the Dallas whore. Now he could cut through the years to the very night when it ended in a whorehouse fight, and she turned his last proposal down in favor of being a girl about town. Now it's been 17 years right in line, and he ain't been straight none of the time. It's too many days of fighting the weather and too many nights of not being together. So he died. And when they went through his personal effects, in among the stubs from the welfare checks was a crumbling picture of a girl in a door and an address in Dallas and nothing more. And the welfare people provided the priests and a couple from the mission down the street sang Amazing Grace, and no one cried except some lady in black way off to the side. And we all left and she's standing there, a black veil covering her silver hair. Old One-Eyed John said her name was Alice, and she used to be a whore in Dallas. So let him roar, oh let him roll. I bet he's gone to Dallas, rest his soul. Oh, you let him roll, Lord, let him roar. He always said that heaven was just a Dallas whore. Yes, you let him roar, oh, let him roll. I bet he's gone to Dallas, rest his soul. Oh, you let him roll, oh, let him roar. He's always said that heaven was just a Dallas whore. Oh, you let him roar, oh, let him roll. I bet he's gone to Dallas, rest his soul. Oh, you let him roll, Lord, let him roar. He's always said that heaven was just a Dallas whore.
That's a good song. That's called Let It Roll. That's from, as I mentioned before, from a man, John Towns Van Zandt. Great. Hold on a second here.
Do you see now what you've started?
What?
See now what you've started?
What?
I think Gerry should give romantic advice every day.
I think so.
Here's
too.
one.
Yeah.
How does a married couple of many years get romance back that they had when they started courting?
I think it's very simple. Go out and meet somebody else. That's how you rekindle the flame. Then you go out with them, and then when you go home on the weekend, it doesn't seem so bad. That's what I would do. That's the way I work. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm only joking, of course. I wouldn't be like that.
Too late. The toothpaste is out of the tube.
Back in '95, whilst fresh off the boat, I suffered a minimum wage job doing security at God's House. God's House being in New York, St. Patrick's Cathedral. Remember we were in there?
Yes.
Home of the candle-stealing money people. People go in there and steal the money from the candles. And where someone is always carrying a gun. Somebody was murdered in there in 1988. Do you know somebody was shot in there in 1988? One cold spring morning, a man was waiting for communion after the 7 a.m. Mass. That's early by any standards. Guess who it was? It was the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Needless to say, Jean-Claude Van Damme was in the news the other day. He appeared at that that birthday party for the president of Chechen. I remember Hilary Swank and all those people were there, and they had to give back the money because they discovered he was a monster. And they're all saying, "Happy birthday to you, happy." Vanessa May was there, and she was paid $500,000 to play the violin. He actually looked embarrassed. No, sorry, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme. Needless to say, I actually approached the gentleman, and this was my job, and I asked him to remove his baseball cap. It's a church. He actually looked embarrassed and apologized. After his confession, he said goodbye and proceeded out the north vestibule door, or as they call it here, the vegetable door. A few weeks later, all the bad stuff hit the press about his life, drugs, women, that kind of stuff. Jesus was listening that spring morning. Could you play that old God boat thingy in the deep God voice from years ago? Do you remember that? Remember I used to have a guy singing about God
That's right.
in his boat. Don't know what happened to him.
Where can you get Niamh McGlinchey's CD? A gentleman said he tried to get it on the internet but can't get it.
Well, I don't know. Let me see if there's some kind of a web address here. That's where you get everything these days. Yes, www.niamhmcglinchey.com. Try that. www. Niamh. That's Irish, of course. Niamh. Sometimes there's a B in there, but not in this case. www.niamhmcglinchey. Other people inquiring about Sean Donnelly as well. He's got a www.seandonnellyfolkmusic.com, inquiring about that song that we love, going away in the boat to Yankee Land.
Gordy the decorator would like to wish Jill Henderson of Malyle a very happy birthday today.
More songs suggested for Joe Mahan. What about Bad Moon Rising?
I see a bad moon rising. I see. It's not bad.
Don't go out tonight. They're bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise.
On the rise.
Have you not got a song for him?
By the way, I tried to contact that man in America, the man that has the bar, Michael.
Yes.
He's in bed.
Yeah, well, he would be.
An answering machine on. So
well, it would be. It's 6:30 in the morning. No wonder he's in bed.
I've left a wee message for him. Anyway.
Have you got a song for Joe?
I'm learning one. I'm learning one.
Try it out on me.
I've only got. There's a lot of verses to it, but so I've got about three. I'm at 3 verses, all right. But
we have to explain. Joe Mahan's a wonderful program. What is it called? Ulster. What do you call it? Lesser Spotted Ulster. Yeah, I can never remember these things. They all sound the same to me.
It was great last night.
Yes.
Great opening shot of him walking across the top of a hill and then standing there. I love that. I said, what's great.
It was like the start of Gladiator.
It was like to me, I thought it was the start of a Western. I said, there's the.
And there's Joe going, pick up the gun.
Pick up the gun. That's right.
Pick up the gun. See, the good thing about Joe is if he's talking to people, he's just talking like that. How are you? What a lovely day this is. But then when he's talking over the top of the pictures.
The Studio Joe.
He's talking Studio Joe. So let's have a song, please, from Studio Joe. Because I will find you. And I will kill you.
There was Johnny, McEldew, and McGee and me, and a couple or more, or 2 or 3, went on a spree one day. We had a bob or 2 which we knew how to brew, and the beer and whiskey flew, and we all felt gay.
Oh!
We visited McCann's, McLeman's, Humpty Dan's. We then went into Swan's, our stomachs for to pack. We ordered out a feed, which indeed we did need, and we finished it with speed, but we still felt slack. Johnny McEldew turned as blue as a Jew, and a plate of Irish stew he soon put out of sight. He shouted out in core with a roar for some more, that he never felt before such a keen appetite.
Poor old Dicey Riley had taken to the sup, and poor old Dicey Riley will never give it up. It's off each morning to the pub, and then she's in for another little drop, and the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. She walks along Fitzgibbon Street with an independent air, and then it's down by Summerhill, and as the people stare. And now it's nearly 1:30. I'll just drop in for another little one, and the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley. Oh, poor old Dicey Riley has taken to a sup, and poor old Dicey Riley will never give it up. It's off each morning to the pub, and then she's in for another little drop, and the heart of the roll is Dicey Riley.
Dicey Riley. That's Sweeney's Man. Some messages, text messages, many of these. What a shame it's too late for Bob Dylan to make an album accompanied by Les Dawson on the piano. Too late for that. It'll never happen. I feel that such a combination would have worked very well. Van and his hat. I'm guessing that because of all the all-encompassing security concerns, Van would have to remove his hat so that if and when he decided to deface the Leonardo drawings, they could identify him. Is rambunctious an Indian word? I think it is. No, it's not. Did you know there are only 2 words from Afghanistan that made it into the English language? Sanger, which you aren't too familiar with, and cummerbund. Do you know cummerbund? Do you know that? Bad Moon Rising. Please say hello to my wife, Daphne Brennan, who wasn't keeping well. As from her husband, Peter, I just want her to know how much she means to me. Could you play something for her, please? I'll play something for her now in a minute. Our last track will be coming up soon. I've got a lot of other text messages here. Some proposals re Northwest Indians. Paddy Nash, what do you think? Yes or no? Clannad collectively. Paul Brady. Paul Brady's not an Indian. No, he's not. No. Artie McGlynn is one. RTG, the late RTG, he was an Indian. Sean McAleer tries hard to be an Indian. Juliet Turner, no. Brona Gallagher, yes. Gerry Anderson Show, yes, of course. What about a blast of Willie Nelson singing Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die? That Somalian government really should stop protecting those pirates. That's really what it sounded like in the news summary. There was...
That's cruel. That is cruel. Somali pirates.
There was a silver mobile... It's funny. There was a silver mobile phone found on the number 24 Ulster bus yesterday morning. The bus was going to Lisburn about 20 minutes past 10. The person who found the phone gave it to the bus driver at Lisburn station. So if you've lost that phone, contact Ulster Bus. I'm not able to listen recently because of work getting in the way. But did Fonzie end up getting taken away fully by his friendly aliens after fixing their craft with a spot of ice upon, or has he returned to a life less exciting? There we go. We don't know. Anyway, the point is Niamh McGlinchey. I bought her EP and well now she's incredible, amazing. Thanks for championing it and getting it out there. Quality will out in the end. Yes, she is brilliant. That's all. Cheers for playing all this proper music. Oh, wise one. It's the right thing to do in face of opposition from the others. P.S. Don't go to the Isle of Man. Have you seen the film Misery? Did you ever see that film Misery?
No.
Oh, it's great. It reminds me of the Isle of Man. Would Mr. Coyle ever consider taking Nolan on in a boxing match for charity? Well, I did that. Remember I fought Nolan?
But it wasn't for real.
It was for real.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't for real. No, but I'll tell you one thing that was real, and I'll never forget this as long as I live. I think I may have mentioned it to you. We went in the ring at some place in Belfast, and we were pretending to be fighting, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to hit him, and he's not going to hit me.
No.
But we would kind of jab each other,
yeah.
sort of thing. Now, we had boxing gloves on, and he's some sight in boxing trunks, I have to say. So I decided to hit him a punch, kind of, you know, not a heavy punch, but that kind of a punch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that one there. And I hit him in the stomach. And my fist disappeared.
I was waiting for that.
Disappeared. Never done that. Good for you, Gerry. You know a good voice when you hear it. A lot of people are very enthusiastic about Niamh McGlinchey, and she's very, very good, yeah? A lot of people writing about her. These are just random text messages. Please tell me what was that album that Mark Giamino track is from. I don't know. The track is called Finest Brand of Southern Degeneracy.
If you put on a show. Why don't you put on a show and get all those people and do it for some charity event?
I am going to. I think I might do that. I think I might do that. And a gentleman in the Errigal Inn, Paul, has very kindly offered me the use of the place. Yeah, and I think I'd like to do it because I might be doing something else for Action Cancer. Wouldn't that be a good idea? We're doing another concert. But do it in Belfast this time. And have all those people come along, and people come along, and there'll be free drink supplied by you.
Excellent.
Where are they now? Robert O'Kondriak. I think he's in the Salvation Army, isn't he? Something like that.
He did.
The Angry Man. Where's the Angry Man?
Angry Man, I would love to know. The Angry Man was originally, I think, from around the Mahara Felt area.
He disappeared.
He was great.
Michael Doherty, where did he go?
I don't know. He was one of the first people ever to appear on this programme.
That's right, yeah. He's in Portaferry.
He was our roving reporter.
What is the latest on Geordie's arse? We don't know. Here's a band going to be on this programme on Friday. The Answer.
Brother,
you be my friend? Sister, I have reached the end, oh Lord. Teach me how to fly. Yes, I want to learn to rise away. Won't you help me pray? Forests whisper songs of love, tell us what we're dreaming of, oh life. Take away my pain. Do you understand my pain today? I said, I want you help me?
This is The Answer. It's called Rise. Back tomorrow. They'll be appearing live in this programme on Friday.
You can't say